Peace. Today's mathematics is understanding, which is a number 3. And today I wanted to just expound on that principle of supreme mathematics. One of the phrases that we oftentimes say is understanding is to see things for what they are, not what they appear to be. And although that is right and exact, it doesn't give the practical approach or practical explanation on how a person can arrive at seeing things for what they are, not what they appear to be. It doesn't tell you about procedure. It doesn't tell you about the proper method to gain an understanding, nor does it share best practices of how a person can arrive at understanding. Now, when you look at understanding in the context of it being a composite of knowledge and wisdom, or in other words, 3 is a combination of 1 and 2, now you get into discovering some of the processes and the methods in order for a person to arrive at understanding. A part of it is you have to have knowledge and wisdom. You got to have a level of awareness as well as discernment or right judgment in order for you to see anything for what it is, not what it appears to be. Professionally, one of the things that I do is I'm an educator at an elementary school, and I primarily work with students who have learning disabilities in 2 different grade levels. Now, regardless of their grade level, one of the things that is common amongst these students is a lot of them struggle with comprehension, and comprehension is understanding. So one of the things that I've also learned is students or youth or people in general have strengths in terms of their learning style. So you have kinesthetic learners who learn like hands-on, and that's the best way to show them something. But then you have others who learn visually. They can just look at something, and that's the best way that they learn. And then you also have students that learn in terms of hearing. That's the best way that they learn. That's their strong suit. And as an educator, it's important for us, or a parent or a guardian, to have the knowledge and wisdom to reach students or children or anybody where they are, to help encourage them to gain an understanding. And we do that by doing a proper needs assessment, first and foremost. That is one of the best approaches or practices in terms of helping encourage a person gain an understanding. Find out what their strong suit is in terms of their learning style, because that is a way that you can meet them where they actually are. So that has been something that I've seen just working in this particular field for some time, that sometimes you have students that are labeled with a learning disability or they struggle with comprehension because their learning style wasn't identified. And you have people striving to force them to learn a certain way, whereas if you do it a different way, then they have the capacity to learn. And that is a part of knowledge and wisdom, knowing that there's a certain way in order to reach somebody where they are. Now, that's one scenario. I've also experienced scenarios where a student, a youth, or a person genuinely has challenges with comprehension. And it does not matter what the learning style is. You can show them hands-on and do it with them, and they struggle with comprehending or understanding that. You can share it with them in terms of hearing. They may listen over and over and over again, but they still have challenges with comprehending it. You can show them visually, and they still have challenges with comprehending that. And also a part of knowledge and wisdom is knowing and being wise enough to realize that you may not have the necessary support and resources to reach this person where they are. And the best thing that you can do is strive to access certain type of resources or support in order to reach a person where they actually are. So understanding, again, is a composite of knowledge and wisdom, and it is part of the best practices or processes or methodology in order to help encourage a person to gain an understanding and to see things for what they are, not what they appear to be. Now, this is something that applies in all domains. You know, even when you're striving to teach knowledge itself, I think some of us have a bad habit of just assuming that a person can comprehend things and that they're just going to get understanding in their own time. Sometimes a person struggles genuinely with comprehension. And no matter if you're giving them nation history or just handing them supreme mathematics or whatever, they're going to struggle with that, regardless of the teaching methods that you use. If you're walking with them and showing them stuff hands-on, they may struggle with comprehension. If you're striving to to constantly build with them and tell them things that they need to listen to and memorize. They may struggle with that. You can show them stuff visually. They still gonna struggle with that. And that's not a knock on you as a person in terms of you not having no magnetic or the inability to teach. This person may genuinely struggle in that area, and you have to identify the proper support and resources to be able to reach them where they are, because you just may not have that capacity as an individual. And that's just genuinely and just honest, you know? So I will, this was inspiring, it was empowering, it was educational. It just gave those of you some insight into understanding and the importance of why we say that understanding is a composite of knowledge and wisdom. Those two elements are very important in terms of us being able to identify how we can reach a person in encouraging and helping them see things for what they are, not what they appear to be, or just being able to comprehend things. But it's also important in terms of us being able to do a self-assessment and realize that sometimes a person may be genuinely struggling with something, and we need to find the right support and resources in order to help reach them where they actually are. So, peace.